The topic I want to start with today, I was doing some channeled writing earlier, a meditation, and I just felt like I had things to receive. And what came up was surrender and set yourself free. This has been a big theme in my life recently. I'm coming to you from Costa Rica. I moved here about a month ago. I spent all of last year undoing my life in Toronto to move here, basically just on a feeling, a really deep, connected feeling that I was being called here for some reason. And that whole story is on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'll link it if you want to check it out. But this process of feeling called somewhere, I think sometimes we forget that there are messages coming through all the time and that we are meant to just listen to them and to act upon them. And the action is ours. It's our choice. There's not some magical set of instructions that's going to show up and be like, you need to do this in this order and on this day. I don't think that's how it works, but I am a very strong believer that we are getting the messages of what we need to do, and it's our choice to act on it and to listen. And I often forget that the gateway into that is through the present moment. It's through being still, and it's through bypassing the thinking mind and just learning to exist and to listen without force. Because often I find myself like forcing a message to come through or to try to hear something or to be, called to do something. And those are the times, at least for me, that it never works when you're trying to force it. But when I fully let go and just surrender into the present moment and ultimately just trusting that the universe is supporting me at all times, that's when things become really clear and obvious and I can feel it. And then the moment that you start to use your brain to understand something, I think it all goes away. I actually think that there's some things that can't be explained and that they shouldn't be explained. You shouldn't try to understand them. There's some things that you can just feel, and I'm sure there's something in your life on this journey, a lesson that's maybe happening right now where you're just like, I know I need to do that thing. Like I just know it, I feel it with such certainty, but it doesn't make any sense and I'm not going to do it because it doesn't really make sense. Or maybe you find yourself in the situation where I know I need to do this thing, but how can I do it in my 3D reality? What are the steps that I need to take? And you start analyzing it and bringing the brain in, you're in Notion, you're planning it out and you're sitting down a journal and you're trying to write and understand. But I really think that a lot of what we're called to do here right now is just to listen to the feeling that you're being sent as a vessel, right? You are being sent these messages, and if you're listening to this, you're someone who knows that there is just more deeper work to do during this lifetime. And when you're one of those people, I think you're often misunderstood. I have been misunderstood. I feel misunderstood a lot, and hence why I'm creating this space I don't want you to feel misunderstood, because I know what that's like, and you're not crazy. You're not weird for knowing that you have more to offer, that this universe has more to offer, and that we're all connected to something deeper. That's not crazy. So much of our culture, society is tapped into what is physically happening, these structures that we've created in the 3D world, right? And when you start to zoom out and detach from that, there's a weird transition where you're like, okay, I can see that this is not true, but I still need to live in this world. How do I do that? And I think for me, my brain then starts staying in the 3D world, and I start having to try to understand things on an intellectual level. But those are the moments where I make probably the worst choices, to be honest with you. And the times that I've made the best choices in my life are when I've had a feeling that I just need to do something and I do it. And to be completely transparent with you, that's why I'm here speaking today. I know that there's something within me that I need to share, that I'm being called to share. And I don't know exactly how to do it. I've actually been holding myself back from doing it because I haven't figured out intellectually how to do it correct or the right way. But that's, for me at least, hasn't when I get into that mindset, I'm actually just holding myself back. That is me bypassing the surrender aspect and letting go and trusting the universe, because everything is always working out in your favor. And I like to think of it as like you have to take action on the messages that you're receiving. And when you do that, the path forward, the unknown, is completely blank. There's nothing there. But as soon as you start to take action, and you're, as if you're walking and you're going to take a step, the path doesn't exist. And as you go to land, the next part of the path is created and you're caught. It's like fully letting go into a free fall from the sky without a net at the bottom, but knowing that you'll be caught. Somehow that net is going to appear. And I think that is what we're meant to do. I think that's what you're meant to do. Stop trying to understand it. This work isn't meant to be understood. It's meant to be felt. So if you find yourself holding yourself back from taking action because you're thinking so much and planning so much to do things right, I encourage you to just take some time, sit, meditate, do something that you know makes you feel at peace and present. Water, I think, is a really great place to do that. I'm by some water right now, or out in nature, or wherever that place is for you. But bring yourself to the present moment and allow yourself to release the mind, just to fully receive. And I think that is the gateway into how you figure out what the next step is. And you take action from there once you find that feeling again. And you don't try to understand it, and you don't try to make it make sense. You just go, I can feel this thing. This is what I need to do. I'm going to do it. And when you lead from that place, I'm telling you, like, everything falls into place. It's crazy. That's how I told you that. That's how I got here. That's how I ended up in Costa Rica. I was like, there's something here I need to do. I don't know what it is, and I'm going to come and I'm going to do it. It doesn't make any sense, and people don't understand me, and I don't really understand me. But I'm going to do it. And this last month has been life-changing. It has been extremely difficult. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but me choosing to follow it and not understand it has allowed so many different experiences to happen in my life. It's allowed me to, within a month, unlock this blockage I've had of sharing my voice for many, 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 many years. I seem to have released it. I can feel it. And I couldn't do that in my old environment, and I couldn't do it the way I was moving through the world before. But something called me here, and I'm here, and I'm just trying to follow it. And it's allowing me to heal things that I need to heal, address things that I need to address, and have new experiences and opportunities show up that I never could have. You can't write, you know what I mean? You can't write these things. You, as a human, in your human form, I don't think have access to all the tools that you need to be a light worker on this planet, in this lifetime. You do have access to the tools, but they're not here, right here. They're outside of us. They're connected to that field that we're all a part of. So you have to tap back into that, feel it so deeply, and move from that place. So I want to wrap up by reminding you and encouraging you that feeling, that potential, that purpose that you feel so deeply inside of you that needs to be expressed in whatever way that maybe you've been avoiding because you don't know how, or it doesn't make sense. It is true, it is valid, and it is real, and it's coming from something that is larger than your mind can comprehend. And I say this with so much love. You need to stop getting in your own way and allow the light to flow through you by just allowing yourself to be in the moment, to trust and to let go. And just know that you're held, and that you're supported, and that you're loved, and that everything is happening the way it needs to. Just enjoy it and follow the journey. Thank you for being here with me today, for listening. If you feel like there's anybody else in your life that might want to hear this, that you think might need to hear this, I encourage you to share it with them. I think that these messages are so important, and that we don't hide them. That's why I'm trying to share. And one of the strange things about trying to share messages like this and follow my guidance in the physical world like this is having to ask for things that feel so mundane and dumb, to be honest, but one of the only ways that things like this can get shared, podcasts, is with reviews. If this resonates with you and you really enjoyed this podcast, or you feel like there's something here, please leave a review or share this with someone that you love, care about, think would benefit from it. It's how this space can grow and be shared with other people. So thank you in advance for that. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, taking the time out of your day, and for showing up for yourself and seeking out the things that you need to be supported. They're here. I'm here. And everything's going to be okay. I will see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll talk soon.